Living to 100 or more in the United States isn't just about genetics. It's about what you put into your body every single day. Nutrition shapes your destiny more than most people realize. You see people spending thousands of dollars on healthcare after they get sick, but almost nothing on preventing it with basic nutrients. That's why understanding the right vitamins, yes, the top 10 that actually help extend your life, can be the difference between living a long, healthy life versus just surviving with medications and doctor visits. People in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia are often surrounded by processed food, stress, and lifestyle factors that rob their body of these nutrients. If you're not getting these vitamins in the right amounts, aging won't just happen faster, it'll feel brutal. Vitamin deficiencies are silent, but the damage they cause is anything but quiet. Let's start with vitamin D, easily the most talked about yet most misunderstood nutrient in the United States. This is more than just the sunshine vitamin. It is a hormone-like compound that directly impacts over 1,000 genes in your body, including those responsible for immune function, inflammation, calcium absorption, and even mood regulation. People in the northern states, especially during winter, face massive deficiencies because the UVB rays aren't strong enough to trigger vitamin D synthesis. This is one of the reasons seasonal depression, bone fractures, and autoimmune diseases spike in colder regions. The problem isn't just that people are indoors more, it's that food alone can't give you enough vitamin D. Even fortified milk and cereals fall drastically short. Studies from both the United States and Canada show that people over the age of 50 absorb significantly less vitamin D even when supplementing. You need vitamin D3 and often in doses much higher than the outdated guidelines suggest. Many functional medicine doctors in the United States now recommend blood levels of 60-80 ng/ml, not the usual 20-30 ng/ml range pushed by older medical standards. And if you're not pairing it with vitamin K2, you're putting yourself at risk for calcium buildup in the arteries instead of in your bones, leading to increased risks of heart disease and stroke. Vitamin K2 is the silent protector of your arteries, your bones, and your brain. Yet hardly anyone in the United States knows about it. Even people who supplement with vitamin D have rarely heard of K2, which is tragic. It works by activating proteins that direct calcium to your bones and teeth and away from your soft tissues, like arteries, joints, and kidneys. Without enough K2, you're basically guiding calcium into all the wrong places. People in Japan, especially those who eat natto, fermented soybeans, tend to live longer and have fewer bone fractures. Natto is one of the richest sources of K2 in the world, and it's no coincidence that Japanese centenarians have some of the strongest bones ever recorded in scientific studies. Most Americans hate the taste of natto and never eat it. In fact, the average American diet has almost zero K2, unless you're consuming grass-fed dairy or certain fermented cheeses. If you're in Canada or the United Kingdom, the situation is no better. Supplementing with MK7, the most bioavailable form of K2, may be one of the most life-extending decisions you could make, especially when taken with D3. Vitamin B12 is another, one that becomes dangerously low as people age. Over 20% of people over the age of 60 in the United States are deficient, and it only gets worse with time. This is partly because B12 absorption depends on stomach acid and intrinsic factor, both of which decrease as you age. Without enough B12, your brain starts to shrink, your energy drops, your memory fades, and eventually you develop symptoms that mimic dementia and neurological disease. The worst part? B12 deficiency can look like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's in older adults, and it's often misdiagnosed. That means people are treated for diseases they don't even have, when all they needed was a high-quality B12 supplement in the right form, methylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin, not the cheap cyanocobalamin found in many multivitamins. If you've ever felt fatigue, depression, memory loss, or even numbness in the hands and feet, you need to check your B12 levels. People in Canada and Australia are especially vulnerable because plant-based diets are becoming more common, and B12 is only found in animal products. Without proper supplementation, vegans and vegetarians are at serious risk. Vitamin C isn't just for colds, and reducing it to just immune support does this nutrient a huge disservice. It's a master antioxidant, and your body uses it for collagen production, blood vessel health, and protecting cells from oxidative stress. Humans are one of the few mammals that can't make their own vitamin C, and when you don't get enough, your risk of chronic disease skyrockets. Most people think that a small orange or a glass of juice is enough. It's not. The minimum dose to prevent scurvy is not the same as the optimal dose to prevent heart disease, skin aging, or immune breakdown. In fact, research out of the United States shows that optimal levels of vitamin C are associated with lower rates of cardiovascular disease and lower mortality. Intravenous vitamin C is even being used in some cancer clinics in Canada and the United States to support immune function and reduce inflammation. This vitamin also helps regenerate other antioxidants in the body, like vitamin E and glutathione, meaning it's central to the whole antioxidant system. Vitamin A, especially in the form of retinol, is essential for vision, skin health, immune function, and cellular growth. Yet, people in modern countries like the United States and United Kingdom are often told that beta-carotene from carrots is enough. That's not accurate. The conversion of beta-carotene to retinol is highly inefficient and varies based on genetics, age, liver health, and other factors. Some people convert almost none. This is crucial because low vitamin A levels are associated with increased infections, poor skin healing, and even higher rates of cancer. In elderly people, especially those living in long-term care homes across the United States or Canada, poor nutrition leads to chronic vitamin A deficiencies. These people get sick more often, their skin becomes thin and prone to injury, and their night vision deteriorates. Liver is the richest natural source of retinol, but it's almost completely missing from modern diets. Supplementing with retinol palmitate or retinol acetate can restore levels and protect your health as you age. But you have to monitor dosage carefully, especially if you have liver issues. Vitamin E, particularly in the form of tocotrienols, plays a powerful role in cellular repair, antioxidant defense, and cardiovascular health. Most people in the United States get only alpha tocopherol, the least beneficial form, from supplements and fortified foods. This form can even interfere with the absorption of more beneficial types. Tocotrienols, on the other hand, are far more potent in reducing inflammation, protecting brain cells, and even shrinking cancerous tumors. Research from the United States shows tocotrienols support healthy cholesterol levels, reduce oxidative damage to blood vessels, and even improve liver function in people with fatty liver disease, which is becoming a major epidemic in places like the United States and Canada. People taking tocotrienols have shown reduced arterial plaque and even better cognitive performance. If you care about protecting your heart, brain, and skin from the damage of aging, this is a must-have nutrient. Yet almost no one talks about it because it's not included in standard multivitamins. Vitamin B6, or pyridoxal 5-phosphate, is another nutrient that becomes more essential as we age. It supports neurotransmitter production, regulates homocysteine levels, which are linked to heart disease, and helps the body break down proteins. Deficiencies are often seen in people with depression, anxiety, or chronic inflammation. Many Americans are unaware that B6 works synergistically with B12 and folate to keep the brain and cardiovascular system functioning well. When any of these are lacking, homocysteine rises and the brain suffers. Mood disorders, nerve problems, and cognitive decline are common outcomes. In a study involving older adults in the United States, those with higher B6 levels performed better on memory and processing speed tasks. If you're on certain medications like birth control, blood pressure drugs, or anti-inflammatory drugs, your B6 levels may be depleted without you even knowing it. Folate, not folic acid, is essential for DNA repair, methylation, and red blood cell production. It's a critical nutrient during pregnancy, but it remains just as important throughout life. In fact, many older adults in the United States are dealing with elevated homocysteine levels due to a lack of methylated folate, which is the active form the body uses. People with MTHFR genetic mutations, common in 30–50% of the population in the United States and Canada, can't properly convert folic acid into usable folate, leading to massive deficiencies despite taking standard supplements. This has been linked to depression, anxiety, fatigue, and even increased cancer risk. Most processed foods are fortified with folic acid, not methylfolate, making the problem worse. Only a blood test can tell you where your levels are at. But if you're looking to protect your brain, heart, and genetic health, supplementing with 5-MTHF, the active form, can be life-changing. Vitamin B1, or thiamine, is crucial for converting carbohydrates into energy and supporting the nervous system. Deficiencies can lead to fatigue, nerve pain, poor coordination, and even heart failure in extreme cases. In the United States, people with high carbohydrate diets, think soda, bread, pasta, and sugar, are at the highest risk. Alcohol also depletes B1 rapidly, and many people with liver disease, diabetes, or chronic stress conditions are running dangerously low on thiamine without even knowing it. Doctors across the United States have started seeing more cases of beriberi, a condition thought to be extinct, especially among older adults with malabsorption issues or alcohol dependence. Supplementing with benfotiamine or alithiamine provides superior absorption and helps restore nervous system function, reduce brain fog, and improve fatigue. Vitamin B2 or riboflavin supports mitochondrial energy, detoxification, and cellular repair. Low levels can show up as cracked lips, sore throat, visual problems, and chronic fatigue. People with migraines often have low riboflavin levels, and high-dose B2 therapy is now being recommended across the United States and Canada for migraine prevention. It's also essential for activating B6 and folate, meaning it plays a supportive but crucial role in keeping the entire B vitamin network functioning. Most Americans eating standard processed diets are chronically deficient, especially those with poor gut health or under chronic stress. Magnesium isn't a vitamin, but it is so essential to longevity that not including it would be a massive disservice. It is required in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. Without it, your muscles cramp, your sleep suffers, your stress skyrockets, and your heart rhythm becomes unstable. In the United States, it's estimated that up to 75% of adults are magnesium deficient due to poor soil quality, overconsumption of caffeine, alcohol, and sugar, and chronic stress, which depletes it even faster. Magnesium deficiency is strongly linked to high blood pressure, insulin resistance, migraines, depression, anxiety, and even sudden cardiac death. Yet, most blood tests won't catch it, because only 1% of magnesium is in your blood. It's stored in your bones, muscles, and cells. That means most doctors never detect it, and symptoms are dismissed or misdiagnosed. People suffering from restless legs, poor sleep, irregular heartbeat, or constant fatigue often see massive improvement when they switch to magnesium glycinate, malate, or threonate, forms that actually get into the brain and body, not just pass through the gut. The average American gets around 200 milligrams per day, but optimal levels start around 400–600 millimoles daily. And if you're in Canada or the United Kingdom and your stress load is high, you're likely even more depleted. Zinc is another nutrient that starts disappearing from the body as you age, and the consequences are devastating. Poor immune function, delayed wound healing, hair loss, skin disorders, and increased risk of infections. In elderly populations across the United States, zinc deficiency is common and often deadly, especially in nursing homes where nutrition is barely monitored. Zinc is also essential for maintaining taste and smell, which is why many older people lose their appetite. Low zinc levels have been directly linked to pneumonia, especially in the United Kingdom's aging population during winter. Zinc supports immune cells, reduces inflammation, and acts as a powerful antioxidant. But just like with other nutrients, form matters. Cheap zinc oxide is poorly absorbed. Zinc picolinate and zinc bisglycinate are far more bioavailable and actually get into your cells. And you can't forget balance. High doses of zinc over time will deplete copper, another essential trace mineral. People supplementing over 30 milliliters of zinc daily should consider adding 1 to 2 milliliters of copper, or they'll run into immune suppression, anemia, or connective tissue damage. Selenium is the shield your body uses to fight oxidative stress and protect your thyroid. It's one of the key nutrients involved in converting thyroid hormone T4 to the active T3 form, which controls your metabolism, energy, and mood. Selenium also partners with glutathione, one of the body's most potent internal antioxidants, to repair cellular damage. It plays a massive role in preventing cancer, especially prostate and thyroid cancers. In parts of the United States where selenium levels are low, like the Pacific Northwest and Northeast, rates of hypothyroidism are significantly higher. People in Australia and the United Kingdom face similar issues, as modern farming techniques have stripped the soil of essential minerals, including selenium. A single Brazil nut contains up to 100 milliliters of selenium, but the content varies drastically depending on where it's grown. Supplementing with selenium methionine around 100 to 200 mmHg daily has been shown in studies to reduce DNA damage, support fertility, enhance immune function, and protect the brain from age-related diseases. Choline is a nutrient most Americans have never heard of, yet it's absolutely essential for brain health, liver function, and reducing the risk of cognitive decline. It is the building block of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in memory, learning, and focus. It's also required for making phosphatidylcholine, which is vital for the integrity of cell membranes and liver detoxification. Without enough choline, you develop fatty liver, even if you don't drink alcohol. That's a disease now skyrocketing in young adults in the United States, and most have no idea it's even happening. Older women, especially postmenopausal women, are particularly vulnerable because estrogen helps regulate choline synthesis. And after menopause, natural levels drop. Choline is found in eggs, liver, and meat. But plant-based eaters in Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom are often not getting anywhere near the optimal amount. Deficiency increases the risk of liver dysfunction, muscle damage, and cognitive problems. Supplements like alpha-GPC or CDP choline are highly effective in restoring brain function and liver health in aging adults. CoQ10 or coenzyme Q10 is another critical compound for longevity. It's not a vitamin, but it behaves like one inside the mitochondria, your cell's energy factories. It helps convert food into ATP, the energy currency of the body, and is vital for organs that need a lot of energy like the heart, brain, and kidneys. Statin medications, used by millions in the United States for cholesterol, deplete CoQ10, and most patients are never told. This results in muscle weakness, fatigue, heart problems, and increased oxidative stress. People over 50 naturally produce less CoQ10, which is why supplementation becomes more important as you age. Ubiquinol, the active form of CoQ10, is better absorbed in older adults compared to ubiquinone. Clinical studies have shown that daily CoQ10 can significantly improve heart function in patients with heart failure and even improve exercise capacity in elderly populations. In Canada and Australia, where statin use is also widespread, the same deficiency crisis is happening silently. Supplementing with 100-300 mmol of ubiquinol CoQ10 daily has been a game-changer for people with fatigue, brain fog, and cardiac issues, omega-3. Fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, are technically fats, but they play a role so critical in human health and aging that they might as well be considered a vitamin. These compounds reduce systemic inflammation, protect brain cells, and support cardiovascular function. In the United States, chronic inflammation is a leading cause of disease, and the typical diet is filled with inflammatory omega-6 fats like corn oil, soybean oil, and processed snacks. Omega-3s help counteract this inflammation and prevent arterial damage, neurodegeneration, and immune dysfunction. People with higher blood levels of omega-3s have lower rates of Alzheimer's, depression, heart attacks, and even cancer. Pregnant women taking DHA have children with better cognitive outcomes. Aging adults with high EPA levels have reduced joint pain and better mood. Most Americans, Canadians, and Australians are deficient unless they eat fatty fish, like wild salmon, multiple times per week. Supplements from fish oil, krill oil, or algae-based DHA for vegans are critical. Look for high-concentration triglyceride-form fish oils, not cheap ethyl ester versions that are harder to absorb. Vitamin B3, especially in the form of nicotinamide riboside, NR, or nicotinamide mononucleotide, NMN, has exploded in research circles for its role in extending lifespan and boosting cellular energy. These compounds are precursors to NAD+, a molecule that fuels your mitochondria and declines dramatically with age. Without NAD+, your cells lose the ability to repair DNA, detoxify, and produce energy. In studies done across the United States, NMN and NR have been shown to improve metabolic function, enhance endurance, reduce age-related inflammation, and even reverse aspects of cognitive decline. This is one of the most promising anti-aging strategies under study today. While niacin, another form of B3, supports cholesterol balance and circulation, NMN and NR go deeper into the anti-aging pathway. People in Canada and the United Kingdom looking to improve energy and delay aging at the cellular level are starting to turn to NAD+ boosters, especially those over 50 or with chronic fatigue, brain fog, or slow recovery from stress. Glutathione, often called the master antioxidant, isn't technically a vitamin either, but it's your body's primary defense against oxidative stress, toxins, and aging itself. Every single organ, especially the liver and brain, relies on glutathione to function correctly. But as you age, or if you're exposed to pollution, alcohol, medications, or stress, glutathione levels plummet. People in urban areas of the United States and United Kingdom are exposed to environmental toxins daily, which drain glutathione levels. If you're on acetaminophen, chemotherapy, antibiotics, or even alcohol, your glutathione can drop dangerously low. Supplementing directly with glutathione isn't always effective unless it's in liposomal form or acetylated glutathione, which are better absorbed. A better strategy is often to take N-acetylcysteine, NAC, which is a precursor that stimulates your body to make more. NAC has also been used in hospitals across the United States for treating acetaminophen poisoning, but its benefits go far beyond that. It protects your liver, supports detoxification, boosts immunity, and can even reduce symptoms of anxiety.